Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. This is Deep Cuts Reactions and my name's Greg, and I'm going to play another song by Luke O'Shea. It's another war song. And I played one the other day that was about Afghanistan, and it was just a little much. I mean, I played it again because it's so good and so moving, but it was, it was overwhelming, truly overwhelming. And this is about World War I. It's called Three Brothers, and so maybe it's removed enough that I can deal with it. Like I say, I have trouble dealing with a lot of this stuff. Just because I've known people. I've had people that are very, very close to my heart go to war, and it's rough. So anyway, let's go ahead and see how this one is, and see if I can see if I can make it through without freaking out. So here we go. Luke O'Shea, Three Brothers.
Brothers side by side in a long-forgotten town, their names engraved in fade and gold on another roll of renown. Where have all the men gone? Brothers, where are all your sons? 300,000 marched away to the beating of a drum, to the great war, to the great war. Well, the youngest was the captain coach of the local football team. When all the town would come out to watch these glorious machines, fearless with the football, he would charge the enemy. But for all his grace, he only took 3 steps on the shore of Gallipoli in the Great War. In the Great War. In the Great War. Now the second was a teacher, the school, the old town hall, the same place that he met his love whilst dancing at the ball. Alas, she never married, for they never stood a chance when the shells they rained like teardrops fell in Pozieres in France. In the Great War. In the Great War. In the Great War. Was a farmer who once loved to laugh and joke. But 3 years on the Western Front, something inside him broke. So much death, the gas, the bombs, few can understand. When a soldier, he laid down his arms, walked into no man's land. Such a waste, Lord. Such a great waste. Waste long. The Great War. Where have all the men gone, mothers? Where are all your sons? We threw them all away. We'd only just begun. A shattered generation. Each town they fell apart, and 100 years is not enough. shops have all closed down. Three brothers stand beside their mates in a long forgotten town. Oh yes, the land has all been bought up now, the shops have all closed down. Three brothers stand beside their mates, another all over now. To the Great War, such a great waste.
Oh man, yeah. Again, that was tough. He did personalize that by showing today's people, as if they were there, and oh God, we don't get it over here in the U.S. I mean, we really don't, because we came in 1917. Granted, we lost a lot of people, and it was a big deal, but we didn't start fighting in 1914 like you guys did, and the casualties were awful for Britain and every colony that there was. It was just insane. Part of it, because I've read a lot, and from what I've gotten, so much of it was stupid shit officers, stupid shit generals that didn't have a clue, that sent these kids over there to just die over the wall. It just, oh man, and it just gutted a generation totally. And there were so many towns. I don't know how it was in Australia, but I have read a lot about how it was in Britain, and it was just like in the American Civil War, where an individual town would take all their fighting men and form as a unit and then go in. So you would have, some battle where virtually all the men in a town were wiped out. I mean, like I say, the same thing happened here in the U.S. In the Civil War, and it was just a horrible thing. Like I say, so fucking senseless. That war was senseless, and it was certainly the precursor to World War II. I mean, if in my mind, if President Wilson had not died when they were trying to hammer out a peace deal, I think that maybe World War II might not have occurred if Germany had not been stripped of all their industrial capabilities. If they all hadn't been shipped off to France, and the country left just as a gutted wasteland, with no economic abilities at all. Maybe if that hadn't happened, World War II might not have happened. I don't know. I mean, it's easy to sit there and look back and say, this was a mistake, this was a mistake. It's a lot different when you're there. It was a lot different for us in the U.S. when we went into Iraq, because of what we were told was happening, why we went in there, and it was lies. And so we went in, lost all these people for I shouldn't say nothing, because what they had there in Iraq was so awful. I mean, Saddam Hussein was so horrible, and his sons, I don't know, one person I know was based in one of Uday's palaces, and she was saying that in one of the rooms where he would engage in these violent orgies and stuff, I mean, just really warped shit, that she could still feel it, even after he was gone and the American army had taken control of that palace. That, I don't know, whatever you want to say, that the vibes were still there, that there were ghosts engraved in the walls. I don't know what you want to say, but she could sure feel it. And so, it was untenable leaving him in power. But again, like I say, it's easy to look back and say, well, this was a mistake or that was a mistake. But while it's happening, it's a lot more difficult. So I don't know. War sucks. It just sucks. There's so much conflict right now. I mean, it. I'm afraid that the U.S. is about to get drug into another war in the Middle East, and I don't think anybody here wants that to happen at all. And we're trying to stop it, but it just seems like it keeps rolling in that direction. So I don't know. I don't know. And then, God, shades of the Great War in Ukraine, in the eastern Donbass region, it's like they've had the Maginot Line, trench warfare for a long time. I mean, all those years between the time that Russia invaded Crimea, they still had all this shit going on in the Donbass. It was not a non-war, for those years until Russia invaded, and tried to take Kyiv. But anyway, I don't know. Like I say, these are subjects I could go on about, and you guys probably don't give a shit about my opinion. And I'm sure it doesn't really matter. But in any case, that was a hell of a song. Very, very well done. And God, that guy's got an emotional voice. I tell you what, he definitely has a deft touch with the subject. So I will be back maybe after lunch. After I have trouble watching this stuff. It's stuff I feel like I need to watch, but it's still difficult for me. So I'll go take a break and go hang out in the backyard and see nature a little bit. So anyway, I'll see you then, and yeah, hit like, subscribe, and all that shit. So later, bye bye.